Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-trent. Well, I figured today's tutorial, we're going to paint something stay at home summer in the sketchbook. We're going to paint some summer flowers that everyone enjoys, and some of these I have in my actual garden. To uplift the spirits, make everyone feel good. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. And I hope you enjoy this tutorial, so let's get started. So let me go over my supplies. I have a Moleskine wet media sketchbook. I don't know what size this actually is. It's probably like a 6x8 or something like that. And you've seen some of the pictures I've gone through. And I had a tutorial on this one and this one. But now I'm just going to go ahead and just fill this whole page up. I have my watercolors here, my paper towels, my water, my various brushes. I have these clips that are great for clipping the paper down, because if I'm going to use a wet medium on this, it's going to buckle a bit. So I've learned to clip it down as much as possible. Now I have no reference for this. I'm just going to paint whatever flowers I feel like. I'm going to grab some of these brushes over here on my left. I thought I'd just paint some bright, fun, lively florals today to get everybody in the mood, cheer them up a little bit. There's a lot of depression right now, and we don't need that. We need to be uplifted as much as possible. So I think I'm going to start with making some sunflowers. I have, if you see here, this is a medium yellow. This is the medium yellow. Let me see if I can find it for you in my little vast tray. Of course not. When I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Anyway, it's just, these are not expensive, and I do the tutorials. I don't use expensive watercolors because I don't think it's fair to show beginner tutorials with expensive watercolors. I'm using Artist Loft, I'm using Dick Blick, I'm using Cotman watercolors. These are all very inexpensive. I'm sorry, this is not Dick Blick, this is Holbein gouache. The Dick Blick is in here somewhere. Here it is. The indigo is Dick Blick. And the Cotman watercolors, just very inexpensive. I don't want to, oh, here it is, the medium yellow. It was hiding. It's used a lot, obviously. Actually, it's dark cadmium yellow. I'm so sorry, I'm terrible. And I have a light one that's called cadmium yellow pale hue. That's here. And then this green that I use often is Hooker's green. I put here. I'm actually low, so I'm going to put some more in here. Hooker's green is a good staple green to have. Up here I have a sap green. That is the Cotman watercolor. I got some new ones last week. I got a earth green that's up here. And I picked up this permanent violet, which is over here. This burnt sienna, I put over in here. And I don't know what the other color was. There was another color. Van Dyke brown. Not very bright, but. And I have this, what is this? Tukachrome red purple over here. And this is kind of like a funky color too. So we're just gonna get started. Let's do like a little, let's do like a sunflower to get us started. So I put that, well, I thought it was medium yellow all this time. My God, I'm so bad. It's dark cadmium yellow hue. Same thing, right? And then the pale one. And I'm going to add a little burnt umber. Look at this, because that dark yellow is very bright. It's almost like an orange. I want to get it creamy, not too wet, because this is a paper that can buckle easily. So we're just going to do a bunch of little ditzy flowers, small ones. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Sunflowers are very simple. See, I have I'm using a number 8 long round Princeton velvet touch brush. But how I do my sunflowers, I'm just pushing down on the brush. And that yellow is not pretty, is it? Let's add that medium. I mean the darker yellow. Brighten that up. Just pushing down, keeping that point. You see that? And I do it here. And then I'm going to put the petals like this. I'm not going to make this perfect round shape. I'm going to have like this where the leaves are blowing, moving over that way. You want to make it more organic looking than this perfectly round flower. So that's very simple. Look right there, you can already see it's a sunflower. I'm going to let it dry a bit and we can go and add details. I'll be using the green now. I'll use some Hooker's green. Sunflower leaves are pretty dark. There's the green. And we're just going to make a little stem downward. And the connection from the stem to the flower is pretty wide. I know you've seen them when you pick them up. So we're going to connect that like you see here. Pretty wide. Oops, I'm moving up and down so you. And then the leaves are, they're pretty big. So we're going to connect the leaf. And we're just going to push down and pull up like that. That's that simple. Push down on the brush, pull it up, and you get this nice big old leaf, that tiny little flower. That was 2 seconds it took you to do that, right? It's a movement. It's just pushing down and pulling up. And you have this perfect little, tiny little cute little sunflower. I'm going to go and add the center, which would be some burnt umber. Like I said, because this paper it doesn't hold water well like the arches. I'm going to fill in that center with brown, not super wet. I'm going to leave a little halo at the top. You see this little halo? There you go, you see it. I'll leave a little halo. I'm going to let that dry because it's still a little wet and I don't want it to bleed all the way everywhere. So let's start with another flower. Let's try a pretty hollyhock. It's another summer flower that's kind of pretty. I've got rose here I'm mixing. Like I said, it's going to be creamy texture of paint consistency, which means less water, more paint. And I'm still going to dab it on my paper towel right here. You see that? All right, a hollyhock. You can start with the flower and then move to the stem. We're just doing these circular flowers like this. And they're getting a little smaller as they go up top. Remember, these are not perfect by any means. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. I like to have odd numbers. So that's good. And that's going to dry fairly fast if it's not too wet. Again, we can use the same green color, or we can go in and add some of that yellow and make it a nice lighter green. And I'm just going to make a line kind of going down all of it and into the top. And then I'm going to put little stems outward. I might have to highlight a hollyhock there actually. Let's clean up our brush. It's missing a little guy right there. I'm going to add a bloom right here. And how I'll make it like, I like to do things in odds. I'll put one up there. So it's basically a long stem that goes through it. And then you get the little leaves. They're the hardest flower to grow. I've tried to grow this a gazillion times. And you can go in and add some detail with the Hooker's green. So just plop it in. See, I'm just dabbing it. I'm not even doing anything special. Really simple. I'm taking the Hooker's green, just the tip of my brush, and I'm just dabbing it just in areas. See, like that, just playing around. Getting a bigger leaf down here. It's that simple. That was really easy to paint and cute. When you think of other summer flowers, you think of Cosmo, zinnias. Lupins come out early. They're like May, June. Roses, black-eyed Susans, Oh, what else is there for summer flowers? So we can do with the same yellow we have, we can do a black-eyed Susan. I have a lot of these growing in my yard. They're perennials. If you don't know much about flowers, perennials come back every year. So just like daisy leaves, just a simple daisy leaf. We're going to keep the top open because there's going to be a black-eyed Susan on top, which is basically a black-eyed center. I'm going to put 2. And then their leaves and stems are very dark. So put that down, and they're like sharp almost. Like I said, I have a few of these in my yard. Like I said, again, don't make it so watery. It's watercolor, but we want to keep it on the drier side so we're not making the... I actually could take off this clip because it's not that wet. We're just making these little ditzy flowers. See, just simple petals and leaves. And when I mean my black-eyed Susan, the top is going to be black. I'm going to take your black, kind of like a cone flower. Just like that. Aren't they cute? Delphinium is a beautiful summer flower. They're funky, like blues, purples. So I have, I'll show you my little palette here. This is a little too much purple, but I'll add some ultramarine with that purple. Give it that bluish purple look, periwinkle color almost. And that's a little wet, so I'm gonna have to dab that on my paper towel. Zoom out, paper towel here. And if you want, if it's still too purple, I think it might be a little too purple, I'm gonna take some of that paint out of that little palette and add some cerulean blue. And that should tone it down a bit and make it more creamier and easier to work with on this paper. So it still has like a periwinkle color tone to it. So delphinium flowers, they're like this, they kind of remind me of like a loose flowy daffodil. So I'm going to go right in between these two flowers here. Let me put it over here actually. Maybe I'll do that over here. Although it is a tall flower, I'll stick it back here. You're going to do these little simple, like a bell. Sorry, I'm going all over the place with you right now. But they're little ditzy bells. If that makes any sense. See, they look like little bells. But at the top, just this little blue. Just like that. It's not realistic, it's a little more abstract. And then we're going to add in the greenery in the middle. And pull that stem all the way down the back. So we're kind of building like an English garden here. And you got the delphinium. Just kind of fun. Poppies, great summer flower, more on the red side, so I'm going to grab some medium red. And I have quite a few tutorials on poppies. A dry brush tutorial, just check that out, it's a great tutorial. Poppies, you're kind of making them look like almost like a bowl you're going to paint here at this point. So that. And then you're going to go around it like that. keeping the center open. You could paint another one next to it that's more open poppy, like a California poppy, maybe a little smaller. And it's just like a bulbous, 4 big petals, as you see there. We'll let that dry a bit. Let's just swing around a little bit more. You can keep the same green color, but I'm going to add in some yellow, make it lighter, like a limeish medium green, just to change up the tone. And then they have this, if you see poppies, they have the ones that aren't open, just like a little bulbish green like that. I'll add another one like up in here. They have those fuzzy stems. Here's the leaf. Now it's going to be really tiny to put the fuzzy stem in here, like the little teeny detail stems, but you can just like feather out little fuzzy stems. That's what the poppies have. Let that green bled into that flower, which is no big deal. You just take it out like so. And as it's drying, you can go in and add that black center. Oh, that one closed up a little bit. And they have those little, put the little dots around it and connect it. And you have your poppy. Well, of course, in the summer you have daisies. You have roses, like I said, cosmos. I'm trying to think what taller flowers. Hollyhock foxgloves. On this black-eyed Susan, I'm going to put a little dark color in here, just to give it some dimension. Going towards the center. See, this paper is not most forgiving. It's great to like sketch ideas on and whatnot, but it's not a great paper to have a permanent, well, hydrangeas. Now I showed you in a tutorial blue hydrangeas. Let's do another one. I can make a mini one up over in here. Using the same brush, because I want to have the same blue color. I'm going to take some of that excess off. We're going to just do dabs like this. I'm just dabbing it. So I'm showing how to do a mini one. And do another one up here. See, it's just a simple pushing around your brush. Get those little bulbous looking hydrangea balls. Their stems and leaves are also dark deep green. And the leaves have a little jaggedness to them. We're just painting a couple on this one. Again, this paint is not really watered down like a real watercolor because this paper will not work well with that. You want to add in more color to that. So that's drying a bit, and you're going to get this color a little deeper, a little darker. Again, the same technique, and you're just pushing it around. It's going to bleed a little bit because it's still wet. If it's still too dark, you can just remove some of that paint by dabbing your brush on the paper towel, going back and picking it up and just pushing it around again. And you can add a little more of that violet because they're usually bluish purple. And if that just bleeds into that color. See, I'm adding it. I'm going to tap down on my paper towel, remove some of it. The sketchbook is not as forgiving as the regular Arches paper. Imagine if art just made a sketchbook. So that's cute. We got that little summer flower. We could add a little Cosmo over here, or how about a little pansy down below? Pansies, they're out all summer if you take good care of them, usually in the beginning of the summer. So again, just going to do the simple petal right here, one big one up top, and 3 over here, 1 here. Simple like that. Still wet. I'm going to remove most of this water with my brush. And then go grab some of the actual thicker tube paint, which is the violet, and I'm going to add some ultramarine to that. It's going to bleed a little different, but if you just dab it, it still might bleed the way you want it to on this paper. I'm just doing that, which is great. And that was a simple pansy. I mean, you can go and grab some of that green paint and make us. And just fill up your sketchbook with some fun little flowers. I mean, that's the best thing you can do with these things. It's just like playing with sketchbooks are fun to play around with ideas and, you know, whatever you feel like. I mean, I can put some bee balm plants up top here. Bee balm is these, they're like, I have tons of them inside of my deck. And the hummingbirds love bee balm. Basically, they're like a big bush. You know, and you have these little leaves. And the top of them are these bright fuchsia-y pink. It looks like the top of these guys. Just like a cone kind of thing. And then you take some of that alizarin crimson and you're just shooting out some of the spikes that are on the bee balm. They're like these little spiky cone things. I don't know how to explain it. Mine's a little more abstract right now, but I have a hummingbird painting tutorial that has the bee balm. And they just love it. Hummingbirds love that. So filling this up, cute little fun ditzy flowers. Trying to think of small flowers that I have in my yard in the summertime besides roses. There's a whole bunch of plants that I plant on my deck. I can't think of that now. This may not be summertime, but I love these. I have these bluebell kind of flowers that are everywhere. But let's paint some zinnias actually. Those are totally summer. They're not perennials, they're annuals, which means they come out once a year. And they come in all different colors. When I think of zinnias, I think of like this bright red. So we get some red, medium red. And it's just like a daisy, like a Gerber daisy. So you're just painting these thin little lines. Oh, what happened to my lighting? Okay, that's good. Thin little lines with your brush. And then smaller here so that the flower is facing upward, you're not facing towards you. You're not going to have this perfect circle. They come in all different colors, red, yellow. We'll do a yellow one next to it. Orange. We haven't done an orange flower yet, so let's do an orange one. I'm going to mix that dark yellow with a medium red to make the orange. And they do have a yellow center. And we have simple stems and leaves. That's what we're going to create, just simple stems and leaves with the zinnias. I'm going to let that dry a bit because this is getting too watery. And like I said, this book paper does not do well with lots of water. You can go back in and fill in the details and the other flowers while waiting. This pansy is going to have a yellow center. And a little yellow on the hollyhocks. And on the sunflower, kind of grab some of that drier paint that's orange. I'm going to go fill in some lines in the sunflower, just to give it that detail. This is almost dry. I'm going to have to add the yellow center. And look how pretty that looks with all the little spring flowers. You can do a pink hydrangea if you didn't want to do blue. You can also add down below, let's just add some fun little teeny flowers. Just little ditzy ones. Really tiny. We have in the spring these things called blue bellflowers, and they're like gorgeous. They're everywhere. Although lately it hasn't been coming out. I don't know why. They come out sporadically along my yard. So I'm just going to use cerulean blue. Just put these little blue flowers. I mean, that's how they look in my yard. They're so cute. You can add another pink. Like maybe put a Cosmo over here. Take out some of that medium red. There's the rose. Cosmos, I have a tutorial on Cosmos. So you have to scroll through my videos and you can see them all. What makes them unique is that they have those lines in the petals. So we're going to make these petals like this. They're kind of wide. Let that dry a bit. We're going to have to let it dry and come back and put the ridges in. We can put the stem in first though. Really simple. Again, we can add some little ditzy flowers over in here. Just fill out this page. That's what I like to do with sketchbooks. I like to fill up the pages. Can add just a little pink ditzy flower, just an abstract one, just to make it fun. Okay, that's kind of dry. We're going to use concentrated paint anyway. So the Cosmo, like I showed in the tutorial, I'm going to grab some of the thicker paint. I'm going to add some crimson to it, so it's fairly dry. We're just making these lines that go from the outside into the center. And that's what the Cosmo has, these nice little lines. And we'll clean off our brush and we'll add in some yellow in the center. Look at that. It's like summer came here quickly, right? I'm going to add some bright lime green, just leaves in the background here, just to fill up this page. Grasses. Some grass down the bottom. And there you have it. A little sketchbook fun on a Saturday. Bright fun colors, flowers, keep your mind off of any kind of sadness. We need to have happy things and happy thoughts and hope, lots of hope. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you're all staying well and taking care of yourself and, you know, enjoying picking up something new. If you haven't done anything lately, watercolor. And this is just a sketchbook. If this is the Moleskine, like I said, it's the wet medium. it works well if you don't put too much water in it. So actually gouache works really great in these. I have a gouache tutorial, so look at that too. So thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.